Hello viewers, you're welcome to my channel. My name is Sunday Ige, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel at Ige's FX. That is my YouTube name. And apart from that, if you need any mentorship, if you need us to train you as regards to forex trading, all right, please reach out to us on againstfx.com. All right, againstfx.com. And apart from that, this is our website, againstfx.com. You go there, all right, join our community, then you choose any package that is suitable for you. All right. Apart from that, today we are going to be doing a weekly review, that is a technical analysis, all right, for the week ahead. Now, for the fundamental analysis, you need to be abreast with forexfactory.com. There you see all those news calendar. You can use filter based on the currency pairs that you are trading. All right, you don't need to populate everything. All right, you can use filter. That is why we have filter. Use filter from this window to just leave only the ones that are important to you. So like next week, I trade USD pairs. Okay, so I know that I have so much news for next week. So I just need to be attentive and know when the news will be released. So that is that. Moving forward, let us dissect this current market. Now, as we all know, we have well, last week was wonderful, and we thank God for everything. So presently, what we need to first of all note is that we want to first of all ascertain the overall trend direction. Where is the overall trend headed? All right. Now, if you look at the overall trend, all right, you discover that we are bullish. All right, you discover that it's a bullish trend. How do we know that it's a bullish trend? We know because it has been going up like this. All right, it has been going up like that. For you to know it's something like that, making high, retrace, high, retrace, market shift, create a high, break structure, pull back, break structure to the upside. All right. So that is the overall trend. Now, the next thing, now we have identified our overall trend is bullish. Now, at this point here, when price created this high, all right, it created a high here. What now happened? We now discovered that a market shift has occurred. This was the last pullback, then it broke structure to the upside. This was the last break of structure. Then what now happened next? Price came down, created a low. It created a high that did not violate this high. Then it pulled back to break this support. At this point, we say market shift. It's telling you that price action from this current bullish trend is making what? Is pulling back. Is pulling back. And when price is pulling back, that is what we call your current trend. That current trend, once you are able to identify that current trend from the overall trend, I repeat, once you are able to identify this is the overall trend bullish, all right? Now the current trend is what? Is bearish, is making a pullback, is making a retracement, because as we know as a trader, price don't go up forever, all right? It will sometimes go up, then it will come down, all right? It will come down because we have what we call the premium price level and the discount price level. Price will because it's bullish, it will push from uh, the discount state, move to the premium level, then it will still come back to the discount level before it will start pushing again. All right, so we say at this point, let us identify the current trend. The current trend now from this bullish trend is what? Is a bearish trend. This is the current trend, bearish. Immediately you see market shift. You see, that is why we say come so that we will show you how this thing works, how it works. We will show you. It is very, trading is difficult, but once you know it, once you have the key, all right, you have the knowledge, it becomes very, very simple and easy. All right. So let me just give you one example. Let's say, for example, there's a news release. Before the news release happened, what will happen? Price action, price action will first of all be creating a base. Now, that creation of that base, if you're on a higher time frame, you just see something like consolidation. But when you scale down to the lower time frame, you discover that what price action is actually doing is what? Is what? Preparing a change of character or preparing a market shift. All right. Then once the news is released, you will see a volume. Price will push. If it's to go up, it will push to the upside. Now, immediately that news is released and there is a volume, the price just left that level. That level now, what will now happen? It will create, because of that volume, it will break protocol. Instead of price to be moving in a steady manner, because of the volume that will step into the market at that point, because of news release, because of sentiment, price will leave that zone with full force, with speed, all right? Therefore, creating what we call imbalance, all right? Therefore, creating what we call imbalance, all right? And don't forget, I told us that what price does is moving from balance to imbalance. Then after creating that imbalance, in future, price will still come back to close up the imbalance to balance with the purpose of balancing the market price. And once the market price is balanced again, price will now create a shift to now create another imbalance. That is just a cycle. That is just the cycle. That is why we are saying, come, let's explain this thing to you. All right, because of time and all that, you may, no matter the videos, you go to YouTube and watch videos, you will not be able to get the real thing. You need a mentorship. at least 6 months for somebody to show you how it works. Then you can now go and improve on that knowledge by yourself. So that is how it works. So price moves from balance to imbalance. It moves from balance when the market is balanced. Then price will now create a market shift. It will now push to create imbalance. All right. After the creation of the imbalance, in future, price will still come back to balance up the imbalance. Now, the creation of that imbalance is what will create what? A zone. A zone. That zone is what we call, if it is a bullish market, if it's a bullish trend at that point, we will say a demand zone. We will say a demand zone. This place that I cycle, this level that I cycle is a demand zone. How did we know that it's a demand zone? We know that it's a demand zone because of this imbalance. We have this blue candle, 1, 2, 3. All right, you see, at the end of the price will now come back to close up the imbalance. You see what price did? He has successfully closed up the imbalance up to this level, but it's still remaining. Now, let me show you. Price has closed up the imbalance to this point. All right, but this very one here, there is this one, this bullish order block here, this bearish candle here. You see the level to this point. This is imbalance inside this place. Price need to close up this place. How will price close up this place? It needs to come down to touch, to retest this place before demand will happen. All right. So when somebody say demand level, it's simply telling you the area where what price created before it swiftly it moved to the upside, before it created the imbalance. All right. If they are telling you a support level, a real support level that is valid, please come to us. We will teach you a real support level that is valid, that you know for sure that one price return to that place, you must dish out a buy from the higher time frame. Is that support level where price created an imbalance. So it's not all support level that hold price, that will dish out buy. And the same thing applies to what? To a supply level. This support is a demand level, while a resistance is what? A supply level. A supply level is a level where price will get to, it will create, after that little consolidation, it will create an imbalance. Price will leave that zone, leaving the imbalance there. That is how you know, or how you can identify a supply zone. Once there is an imbalance, in future, once price come back to that point, price must dish out a sell, because price will come back to come and close up that imbalance. Simple as that. Okay, now that you come to us, we'll teach you. You understand? So that is that. Now that we have identified the overall trend direction, we know it's bullish. We have identified the current trend is pulling back bearish. Now, how do we now look for an opportunity? The next thing is for us to now look for an opportunity from this current trend now, for us to get involved in the market. As simple as that. If you go to daily, all right, you will discover that this point here is what? The demand zone. This whole point here, from here to this level, is a demand zone. Demand zone. Let me mark it for you. From here, okay, to this point. That is the other block here. But if you now scale down to 4 hours, you see, you see how I mark it? I've already done my analysis and I'm waiting for price to tell me where it wants to go. Then I take position. Now, from the 4 hours, let me remove this one now. From the 4 hours, this point here is the other block from here to here. You can see now, I hope it's very, very clear. You can see I even shaded it, I marked it, 4 hour order block, that is the OB, D1 OB, that is, you see. Now, at this point, we are to be looking for what? An opportunity so that we can get involved in the market. How we can get involved in the market. That is what we should now be looking for. Now that we have identified the current trend, the overall trend, and now the current trend, we have been able to establish the current trend that is making a pullback bearish. Now, how do we now get involved? How do we now look for opportunity and then take position? That is the problem of most traders. They can read the market structure, know everything, but the timing, perfect timing, is always a challenge. I've released video on it, so you can go and watch it on my YouTube against FX. Right now, we can see clearly that when price came, it touched the demand from the higher time frame, that is the daily, it dished out a buy. It broke a structure to the upside, all right, creating what we call market shift. All right, what happened? This one here pushed to the downside and it stopped here. All right, it reacted based on the H3 order block. All right, based on the H3 order block. All right, now that this sell here failed, this high failed to create a low, you're supposed to push, take out this guy here, take out this low, and push into this 4-hour order block. But it did not do that. It failed to create another low. Now you can see price is going to the upside and we now stop here. So here is the point. This is what we should be looking out for as soon as market opens. Guys, look, just listen to me. We have a support that is 3277.00. That is the support level where I have marked here. Then we have a resistance, the current resistance of 3310.00. Now, what should we wait for when market opens? Once market opens, this is the resistance. Once price gets pushed, break this resistance, we know that it's going to retest. Once price breaks this resistance, we know we are going to retest this level. All right, we know that we are going to retest that level. But when price breaks this low, this support, we know that we are coming to retest this level before we sell, before we buy. This is the opportunity. The opportunity here now is that we need to wait as market opens. We wait to see if there is a push up that will break this level, this 3310.00. If it breaks it, retest it, then we know we are coming to retest this high. But the support level, if it breaks the support level from here, if it breaks the support level down, it retests it, then you know that we are coming to retest this demand 4-hour demand zone. Once we retest it, then it will now dish out the buy. So thank you so much and have a blessed week. God bless.